Hey everyone. So, does a songwriter become one of the most influential artists of the 20th century? Well, a complete unknown. The new Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothée Chalamet attempts to answer that question with a deep dive into Dylan's early career. Does it hit all the right notes? Does it fall flat? Or does it kind of strike a chord in between? Well, stick around and find out. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews. Okay, so let's get into it. This film tells the story of Bob Dylan's rise from a complete unknown to fame, focusing on his early career and really culminating in these iconic moments, especially the one when he played an electric guitar at the Newport Folk Festival, as he chose to evolve his career beyond just the genre of folk music. We follow Dylan as he navigates the folk scene in New York City, connecting with influential figures like Arlo Guthrie and Joan Baez. Along the way, we see the personal relationships, his artistic struggles, and the key decisions that really shaped his career. The title just perfectly encapsulates his journey, ending with Dylan on the edge of becoming a cultural phenomena. Timothée Chalamet's performance. Yeah, his performance as Bob Dylan is remarkable. And I would be surprised if he doesn't get an Oscar nomination for this one. He captures the essence of Dylan's personality, from his poetic lyricism to his gruff singing voice. Chalamet's singing, while reminiscent of Dylan's signature style, absolutely adds a melodic smoothness that kind of makes the music accessible without losing that raw edge. In many ways, Chalamet's portrayal of Dylan feels like an idealized version of the man, bringing out what Dylan might have sounded like with a slightly, yeah, with kind of feel a little uncomfortable saying this, with a slightly more melodic voice. And I think the whole internet is going to start screaming at me now. But the thing is, it's true. He has this rough voice. And Timothée Chalamet's performance, it's just captivating in how he brings all that together, how he brings Bob Dylan and his music to life for a whole new generation to appreciate. What's fantastic and fascinating is how Chalamet manages to emulate Dylan's distinctive vocal style and that grit that he has, that rough, gravelly edge, which defines his sound. And he does that without compromising his own singing ability. And look, I grew up listening to Bob Dylan because my mom was a singer and she loved him. But man, did I dislike listening to him sing. It's not that I didn't like his music. I think he's a brilliant songwriter. I loved his lyricism. I loved the songs that he created, but I did not enjoy listening to him. And what's fascinating about this film is that Timothée Chalamet smooths over all those rough edges. He keeps that signature growl and he makes the music sound like I always wanted it to sound. This is how Dylan's songs sounded when I imagined them in my head. Chalamet brings a fascinating blend of authenticity and polish that really stands out in his role. It's a biopic. It's a film that doesn't shy away from exploring Bob Dylan's personal life. His relationship with his first girlfriend, Sylvie, is tender, but full of these personal frustrations for them both. And the love triangle involving Joan Baez added even more emotional depth. While Dylan's affair with Baez is depicted as passionate, the film suggests that maybe he didn't actually love her, or maybe didn't really fully respect her artistry because of some comments that he makes about her writing. However, this does create a lot of tension, and that tension between them is ultimately what fractures their bond. And these difficult relationships highlight Dylan's struggle to connect deeply with individuals, even as his music just resonates with millions of nameless, faceless people. It's a poignant exploration of a man who could touch the world with his words, but failed to hold on to any meaningful relationships in his life. And honestly, I don't know that that is necessarily true. I've never studied Bob Dylan's personal history, but it does feel like, at the end of the film that he is very alone in this world and alone in this space, which is very sad. And now I need to go read about Bob Dylan to make sure that, he's got people. He needs people. So this film, it really is almost a pseudo musical in how it's constructed and how much screen time the music of Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and Johnny Cash receive. Music is at the heart of A Complete Unknown, with over 40 songs featured in this film. These performances easily take up at least an hour of this 2 hour and 21-minute runtime. And it almost feels like a concert film with some story kind of stitching the performances together. While it features his pivotal moments on stage, the sheer volume of songs weighs down the narrative. It feels like it's almost like a double album of Bob Dylan's greatest hits as performed by Timothée Chalamet rather than a biopic. While fans of Dylan's music will relish these moments, they're going to love it. The pacing suffers and it really does kind of feel a bit bloated. The standout scene is, of course, the Newport Folk Festival and the drama surrounding Dylan's decision to go electric. The movie captures the tension, the excitement, and the fallout of that historic performance. It's clear that the filmmakers were influenced by successes of modern concert films like Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and Beyonce's Homecoming. They aimed to create an immersive musical experience with long sequences dedicated to Dylan's performances, alongside of highlights from Pete Seeger, from Johnny Cash, and Joan Baez. And while I love a great soundtrack, the film would have benefited from more balance between music and storytelling. At over 2 hours, it feels bloated in places and could have been trimmed to sharpen the focus on Dylan's personal and artistic evolution. That said, the small moments in the film when Dylan's music directly intersects with his life, like composing lyrics inspired by political events or intimate conversations, they are just terrific. A Complete Unknown is really engaging and it's beautifully crafted. It's a biopic that captures the essence of Bob Dylan's early career. While it may be a bit overindulgent in its musical sequences, the film's performances, visuals, and the storytelling carry the film, especially for music lovers and biopic enthusiasts. Timothée Chalamet's portrayal of Dylan is mesmerizing. The film offers a fresh perspective on one of music's most pivotal figures. Younger audiences will likely enjoy seeing Chalamet in this role, and he will probably be the key reason that they enjoy it. I think younger kids will probably get bored and lost in the narrative and the music. However, for anyone interested in music, history, Bob Dylan, or Timothée Chalamet, the film is definitely worth the price of the ticket. And if it's a bit too long on the runtime, you're still going to have a really good film and a good time in the theater. So, have you seen A Complete Unknown? Are you planning to watch it? And are you a fan of Bob Dylan's music, or did you just discover it because of this movie? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments and let me know if you think Chalamet nailed it as Dylan. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other reviews for more great films. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.